In this video, I'm going to be completely transparent about how you pack your pipe. Hello pipers, and welcome to another Tortuga Estate bite-sized video. This is going to be the second video in the beginner series. So if you're a beginner and you just see this video for the first time, make sure to go back and to watch the first one where we talk about how to choose your first pipe. All right, in this one we're going to be talking about packing your tobacco and how to pack it. And as somebody who already knows how to pack a tobacco pipe, I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of forum threads of people explaining to beginners how to pack their pipes. And I gotta say, all of them are right. All of them are correct. But what I as a beginner missed and I didn't get from those videos, it's like, all right, you gotta push lightly. What does lightly mean? Some people use like metaphors. It's like shaking a lady's hand and whatever, and those are very fun, but I ended up watching a bunch of videos, reading a bunch of forum threads, and at the end of the day I had no idea what I was doing or what was I supposed to do. The only thing that I knew is that I shouldn't push too much. But what is too much? So the only difference, I'm gonna try to play a little bit with an interesting way to show you and to help you visualize what you have to do. So I've already shot some close-ups and my pipe is already full, but I'm gonna go through it and just give you like the basics. So it's good for you to know the information and watch the video, and from those two extrapolate your way of understanding things. So basically you want to get a pipe and just sprinkle lightly tobacco on top. So just let gravity fill up the pipe, then you can hit it, not hit it, but then you can bump it a little bit on the side just to shake things around. And then what you want to do is fill up the pipe around halfway, and then go in with your finger and just try to go on the sides. Try not to push in the middle, just try to go on the sides and press the tobacco lightly. And when I say lightly, it means nothing to you, but the goal is not to squish the tobacco, it's not to press the tobacco. The goal is to get rid of any, like at this first stage, the goal is to get rid of almost any air pockets in there. Yeah, maybe a little bit of squishing, just a little bit. What you can do afterwards, after you're done with this part, you can just take a couple of drags or a couple of pulls just to see how much resistance there is. And I know that as a complete beginner doing this the first time, this will mean nothing to you, but still do it, because I can promise you, it doesn't matter if you watch this video, if you read some other people's threads or watch other videos, after enough bowls, you're gonna learn, or even unconsciously, your brain is gonna learn what to do, how to do it. And all I'm trying to do here is help you in the initial period. So yeah, you just draw a couple of times. You don't want it to be too tight, you don't want it to be too loose. You're gonna figure out with time what this means. All right, so after we're done with this, we sprinkle some more tobacco on top until we fill the whole chamber, even overfill it a little bit. And here you want to again start pressing down on the tobacco with your fingers very lightly. Do not use a tamper at this point. No tool, because you just don't get as much feedback, and it's so easy to overpack your pipe like this. So here we're using basically half of the force that we used before, and here we're loosely getting rid of the air pockets. We still want some air pockets, because after we light the tobacco, it will expand, and we need some room for the tobacco to expand. So we need a little bit of air pockets in this one. And here it's going to be a little bit more of a do as I say and not as I do situation, but perfectly you would like to have your pipe like 75 to 80% full, not completely full, because then you get residue and you might get charring on the rim. Also, lighting your pipe is gonna be a little bit more tricky. All right, so let me start by showing you the pipe. We're gonna be packing James Upshaw grade A, like a large Canadian pot. So we pick up our favorite tobacco. Right now, that's gonna be Cornell and Deal Super Balkan. And what I like to do here is, let me just figure out how. What I like to do is I like to grab a bit of tobacco and lightly sprinkle it. I have like this. So we continue until the pipe is like half full. I know that this looks completely full, but it's so airy inside. I like to like knock it on the side a little bit. And now what I do is I just push on very, very lightly. And what I'm looking for in here is to have a very even layer on the bottom, which will be a little bit more packed than the rest of the pipe. And now what I do is I continue sprinkling some more tobacco. And I know this looks a little bit messy, but it's completely fine. And even this is like looks too much, but then I start packing. But when I pack it, just notice that I don't put my finger like inside. I don't push like way too much. I just kind of press it so it is level. That's it. And this is going to be one of those like do as I say and not as I do. Like you could put tobacco like up to like 80% or 75% of the pipe. I like to put a little bit more. All right, and that's it. Like I almost didn't use any force like to actually push. There is no like literal like squishing of the tobacco. At most it's like gravity, and the only thing that I'm doing by pushing it a little bit is I'm just closing the air gaps that are inside. All right, and now I just take this. My pipe is ready, and I dump the rest back in, and I close my jar. That's it. Now let's see if I can show you the same thing, but in this glass jar. It is very big, and it's meant just for you to be able to visualize a little bit better what's happening in the chamber. So this would be a huge pipe if that was the case. But let me just try. I have some cheap bulk tobacco like aromatic. It's a little bit too dry, but it's fine for this display. So we're sprinkling, let's say a little bit, like half or a little bit less ideally. And let me see if you can, yeah, here you can see it. And what I will do is I will just press it gently. Like I'm not here, as I said, this is a little bit different, but hopefully you can just visualize. Look how much it didn't change, right? It changed a little bit, but it didn't get squished at all. It just, we closed some air pockets, and I don't press in the middle. It's just on the sides. And once we're done with this phase, we sprinkle some more. In this case, way more, because this is a giant jar in comparison to what pipes chambers are. And let's say that's okay, that it's to the top and a little bit overflowing. And here again, let's see, I'm just gently squishing. This is probably like half of the effort or the force that I used on the bottom, I use here. And that's it. That's more more than enough. It's like almost nothing, and this is like a light temp. Like this pipe, if that was a pipe, it wouldn't have smoked for very, very long time because it's a little bit loose. But in my case, this is what gives me the best flavor and the best smoking performance. And let's see actually if I tamped it like too much. Everything comes down. Did you just see everything came down? Except the bottom. The bottom, it took a little bit longer. And as I said, this is not this is glass, so everything will slide down, but from the pipe it will not, because you have like wood and carbon. But this is like, I think, a nice presentation. Let me show you something else. Let me show you what would be a wrong way to do it. So this is our first stage. Let's call it the first stage, like the 60%. And let me show you what too much force would be. Like what too much force would look like. Yeah, this is way too much force, and we go into the middle, and I can actually feel the tobacco like squishing underneath my fingers, and it shouldn't. You should not feel that. And as you can see, even in the glass, it stays there. It's that this is way too tight, and you won't be able to get a nice smoke out of it. I hope that this demonstration actually made sense and it helped. But that's it. That's basically it. Just try it, and I can promise you there's gonna be some bowls that feel amazing and you did everything well, and there's gonna be others where you won't be even able to smoke the bowl till the end. So don't worry about it. Just pay attention and try to figure out, or to remember after you get a great bowl, all right, what did I do differently this time? And the same goes for when you get a bad bowl. It's like, all right, what did I do? Just try to pay attention. Like, oh yeah, maybe I overpacked it. And I'm just gonna mention a couple of things here. I'm not gonna go that much into them, like at all. But different tobacco cuts have different qualities, and the general rule of thumb for them is like, the bigger the tobacco is, let's say it's a full flake or like a curly, the more force it can endure without getting overpacked. Because if you get loose tobacco, as you can see, we can already fill up the chamber pretty well, even without pressing. And now imagine if you take like the navy cut McBarons, for example, the curlies. Yeah, I can fold 3 or 4 of them in there, and there's going to be so much room, and for me to actually press them, it's going to take quite a lot more force. But that's not the point. The point is for me to show you what happens with loose tobacco, with loose cut, and those are the mechanisms behind properly packing pipe. Oh, I almost forgot, there's another very, very important factor when it comes to tobacco and packing, and this is the moisture level of your tobacco. And this is so hard for me to explain it, and so I'm just gonna give you a couple of rules and one tip, and you can just try to figure it out for yourself. So you don't want your tobacco to be too moist. That's bad. You also don't want your tobacco to be extremely dry. All right, we're going for this golden middle. My golden middle is a little bit on the drier side, and everyone has their opinion on it, and I gotta tell, everyone has a right opinion for them. You're gonna find out what works better for you, but what you can do about it, and that's the thing, I can't explain to you what too moist of a tobacco feels or looks like. Yeah, it's gonna be more gummy, more tacky, and this very dry tobacco is just gonna be dry, right? Crumbly. What you can do whenever you figure out for you what's a too moist of a tobacco and too dry of a tobacco, if your tobacco is too moist, what you can do is set it aside, like take out some tobacco, put it on a piece of paper or something, and just wait a little bit. All right, wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, half an hour, sometimes up to an hour for an aromatic. Like, experiment with it. And if a tobacco is very, very dry, there are some ways to rehydrate it. I'm not gonna go into those right now, but I'm gonna show you something that I use basically on daily basis. And this is what do we do if our tobacco is a tad too dry. And this is super easy. What I like to do is I put my hand over, let's see if it focuses. Hello. I put my hand over the pipe like this, put my mouth and exhale a couple of times into the pipe. So just slow, warm breaths. And you can immediately feel that your tobacco is all of a sudden a lot more flexible and a lot more moisturized. To be honest, after you start smoking it, if you're using the breathing method, which we're going to talk about in the next video, you're also going to rehydrate your tobacco this way. Alright, so I think that will be it for this video. In the next one, we're going to shortly go over lighting the pipe and tamping it. And after that, we're going to have, I think, one more episode where I show you how to actually clean up your pipe after you're done smoking it. Alright, see you in the next one.